What's up and welcome back to this YouTube channel. It's your guy Igor here. Well guys, I want to talk a little bit about the situation here in Alberta with the teachers and in Canada in general. I got some good news and not so good news in this video that I would like to cover with you, and I'll try to keep it good. I just shot a video in Russian before this one and I tried to say something good, but the negativity came out. I'll tell you guys. Well, my situation right now is the school is right over there. The teachers are on strike and the kid is at home. Now we have a long weekend coming in, and I want to tell you guys, it's pretty pathetic. That's what's happening right now. Let me tell you first, I want to say something in support of the teachers, because indirectly I've been held as a hostage by the teachers community, and I'm forced to support their interest because I want my kid to go to school finally. So that, just like every other parent in Alberta right now, literally guys, the union of teachers is holding hostage the parents and their kids as a leverage to negotiate better terms. Now, that's the negative part. The good part about this entire strike is what they're trying to do is get some better supplies, amenities for the school, more teacher support, and higher pay from what I'm understanding. And a lot of people are saying that that's actually necessary to happen. Now, while I agree with the measures that need to happen, I disagree with the means that has been done. And to be honest with you guys, it's insane that more and more unions in Canada opting in that way. We had Air Canada, suspending flights, people losing their vacations, and all of these things going on. Then Canada Post, again now this year, holding hostage people's convenience of parcels, mail, and other things that are going on. And literally, they're trying to destroy their own business. And now the teachers, the parents, so it's really expensive right now to have a babysitter. By the way, guys, it's a really good job right now, business opportunity, at least temporarily, to make some money on babysitting. I'm telling you guys, people have to go to work. It's insane. It's very expensive for a lot of families to keep their kids. Now, I know that you would say we have to blame the Alberta's government and Daniela Smith for that, and whatever. But to be honest with you, that's from my perspective, I only say that, it's all right to negotiate and get everything, but holding parents hostages, I think there has to be some kind of repercussions, at least, towards those organizations that are doing that. Can you imagine, guys? You have to go to work and you have kids. Took the kids yesterday to the library. It's filled with kids. Kids are all over the place. Not only it's inconveniencing to the parents, kids are not studying. Kids are not getting the education needed. They're staying at home. All of the arrangements. It costs a lot of money for the parents. Like, for example, after schools, still charging money. A lot of them not even taking kids right now. For other people, it's not even convenient to bring the kid there for another 1 or 2 hours to interrupt their working day with the inconvenience of having kids at home. So those organizations keep on charging money, making money, and not having the workload of the kids to be there. So there is lots of things like that happening right now. And even though the cause for it is great, is to make it better schools, have more assistance and better education for the kids, the means that are used are pretty ridiculous. It's almost like, hostage situation where parents are held hostage for leverage to influence the government to get the desired outcome. Even though the outcome might be a positive thing, a necessary thing, the means that are used to get that outcome is not what I would support. I mean, if we start doing that all over Canada, we might as well shut down the entire economy. But I'll tell you guys, let's talk something positive now. Let's talk about Liberal government. The positive part is, I think Mark Carney's poll went down from 55% to 47%, according to the recent polls, and it's going down now. We haven't got any deal with Trump. Now, the only good part I heard is he actually mentioned the building of pipeline for Alberta. I'm actually happy about that. I did not expect that from Carney. I'm actually happy about the Liberal government saying something like that. Oil line. Well, I just wish that they had a sort of a deal there to reduce tariffs or something, guys. Honestly, it's like I get bugged by a lot of people, a lot of friends. Igor, do you think we should become 51st state? Today I had a family, basically from Russia, a family from Russia, that I'm helping purchase a home, and they were telling me that, they are not supporting the 51st state as a for example, Canada joined the U.S., but they wouldn't. But they would. They're also Canadians, but they would consider a trade union with U.S. where you can go and work and visit United States and open the businesses like on a European Union style, like a free trade zone where Canada stays Canada. The reason they don't want to join the United States is because of violence and crime, of course, and I think that's a lot of people would agree to that. And you know what, they told me about that model, and as somebody who is originally from Europe, I would say that that's actually quite an interesting model. But what do we do with Mexico? Do we just turn our Canada, US, and Mexico agreement into a free trade? Then Mexicans can come to US, but I don't think US would want Mexicans to come. But I don't think they would mind Canadians. However, there is the negative part for Canadians, because you'll get a lot of really smart Canadians who are very talented and professionals, and it's called brain leak. They are going to get their stuff and they're going to go into the United States to work, and they will leave Canada. And really, really smart professionals might as well go to US for better career opportunities. Then it's going to be bad for Canada. So there's pluses and minuses to that. I don't know. I want to read your comments, guys. Now, another part I wanted to discuss in today's video is actually, you know what? It's like a vlog video. I'm just going to tell you my thing. I'll tell you one thing that I'm actually grateful for Liberal government over the years. What they did, that actually had a huge impact on my family. It's a $10 childcare. So the childcare did help. Just guys, can you imagine like $1,500 in the past? Two kids from my side going to childcare is like $3,000 a month. You know what $3,000 a month is? It's like $5,000 after tax, right? So you might as well have one parent stay at home. And we all know it's not sufficient for one income in Canada to survive nowadays. So you have to have two parents. But having a kid or two cancels out one person's income. So that's the only thing that I would say is actually a great thing. They're also doing another good thing is they're making, feeding the kids program in the next 5 years, where they're going to be supplying, organizations to feed the kids in schools. Now that's a good part, and free dental care stuff. But I want to tell you guys one more thing that I actually think it's also a bad part, because we have to come to those means. I was born in a Soviet Union. I was not even born in Ukraine. I was born in a country that doesn't exist. It's called Soviet Union, communist country, and then it fell apart. And then I had to hear all stories from all of my relatives on the stuff that was going on in Soviet Union, about people with food stamps standing in lines for butter, for meat, corruption, poverty, scarcity, and even my university professors, how you were not allowed to even say something, or you can go to jail, like my dad. He got beatings of his lifetime as a kid from my grandfather when he said Stalin is an idiot when Stalin died. You know why? Because my dad was like 4 years old and he was going to get a bicycle, and then Stalin died. And now they shut down all the stores in the city, and my dad didn't get a bicycle. So he said he's an idiot. And you know what can happen? Well, you can go to basically what is gulags. You'd go to gulags, your entire family, probably all of the relatives and everyone, this NKVD agents would show up to your door and they'll take your entire family. Why is the kid saying something like that? Oh, must be the parents, so all go to jail because they are against the communism, right? So that's kind of a thing. That's an authoritarian regime. And it all came up with the good idea of socialistic idea of everyone having equal opportunity, special social programs. And we have actually more and more of those social programs that are starting right now resembling those things in Canada. and it's actually a little bit scary for me. Now I know that most people who are born and raised and living in the Western world and have never had a connection to Russia or to Soviet Union would probably not even understand what I'm talking about, because they never had that problem, you know. It's like I was laughing. I went to India in Kerala state, and they have communism there. I'm like, wow, you know what? My country had that disease, then they sneezed, and the flu spread to the rest of the countries. That flu is still in China, it's still in North Korea. That flu is in some states in India. I'm like, guys, you know what? It's a great dream that doesn't work. It doesn't work. You cannot have everyone equal and socialistic and everything is like that. The good part about communism, that the only good part that I heard of is no free market economy. You do your university degree, you get a job, you get a placement. That's the only good part. But the bad part about it is that, a person, you might be a doctor in a hospital with all the years of education, scholarship and everything, but you're going to be getting paid less than, I don't know, than a cleaner next door, a person who just has a broom and has no education, didn't spend any years in university, who makes more money than you do by doing that. That's communism for you. I don't want that to be the case in Canada, honestly, guys. And I'll tell you, we have to be very careful, because right now we are coming up to another thing. You remember when the Freedom Convoy got arrested? That's kind of scary a little bit for me. Like, I don't know if Freedom Convoy was good or bad, but the fact that people were thrown into jail is scary. Their bank accounts arrested, that's scary. And now there is one more thing that they're saying is, starting next year, Canada Revenue is going to be filing taxes for poor families of Canadians under pretense, well, supposedly to help people with their benefits. Maybe it's a good thing that low-income Canadians who cannot afford doing that, but giving that authority to Canada Revenue, it just gives them power to file taxes and go out after everyone. That's actually really scary, because if people don't file taxes, it just means they don't have the money right now. And the chances are they would file the taxes for you and go after you. That might also mean that Canada is running low on money, and they need to fill up the budgets. And it could actually potentially be a step towards an authoritarian regime. And I don't want that to happen to Canada, guys. Trust me, authoritarian regimes suck. They do not work well. And that's my entire life is something that I've been escaping from, and a lot of people do not understand it, but I gotta tell you guys, it's not good. It's not good. You don't want that. I heard far too many stories and things like that. I'll tell you my story. Okay, I'll tell you a quick story of my grandfather. When the state showed up to take his business away, and he said no, the communists stopped him on his wedding and they took away his business. That's the story of my grandfather. That's how communism started. They came and they said, your enterprise, your property belongs to the state. You have to give it up. And you cannot say no. But he did say no. He was a business owner. He was an employer. He was given jobs. He was a respected person. He owned a windmill. It's basically equivalent of modern day manufacturing factory, I would say, or something like that. But it's been very long time ago, and and then his entire family had to hide in military camps in other countries, far away from retaliation. That was called, that was basically called раскулачивание. So kulak means somebody rich. So that was basically saying that we'll take it away from the rich and we'll give it to the poor, Robin Hood style. And that's basically how it happened. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope Canada never has to experience any of that. Because that's not why I immigrated to Canada. I immigrated to Canada for this country to be strong, free, independent, and democracy. I'm okay with some social stuff that we have in Canada, like healthcare and schools, and it's a beautiful country. That's why it makes it better than the United States. But we should be fighting for our freedoms, democracy, and for our economy. And that's why I want to say that we should actually build a goddamn pipeline and make our rare earth minerals, our energy, our steel, our aluminum, our car manufacturers, and our trade open to the rest of the world and be able to expand our economy. We have insane amount of potential for a very little portion of population. We are bigger than the United States. We are population-wise smaller than the United States, and we have more potential. So just saying, like, there is a huge unleashed potential for Canada, and that's why I'm here, and I believe in this country.